little snappy question just to kick things off with. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how patriotic would you say you are?
Very low.
It's in the name, really. I act. Going off script. Hello and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk with my guests Daniel Liverpool Channel and HEADPHONDS. Thank you. Triple mix as a whole. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for agreeing to take. Yeah, that's my trademark. It's my style, you know. Thank you for agreeing to take my questions again, guys. Today we are talking about something that is at the heart of a lot of people's lives, from when they are born right up until the moment that they die, and that is food. We will talk about that. That's a good discussion, actually, and I'll remember that. But for today, it's patriotism, potato, whichever way you say it. But our patriotism, what we feel in our hearts with our affiliation to where we're from, in terms of country. So I'm going to come to you first, Daniel, and then. But this is just a little snappy question, just to kick things off with. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how patriotic would you say you are?
Very low.
Very low.
I would go like 2 maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Polish government. I'm your big fan.
Okay, interesting. On a scale of 1 to 10, Satria, how patriotic would you say you are?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
Very big difference.
I wasn't expecting that. To be honest, I was expecting you to be quite high, maybe 10.
Well,
I thought you would have been higher than 2,
No.
but
Not by the recent events in my country, no.
Okay, cool.
They really put me off.
Right, okay, well, I think the next question, well, I suppose I could just ask on the back of that then. You're saying you're quite low on the patriotic scale because of the current sort of politics and the situation of the country. Would you say that your levels of patriotism were higher when you were growing up, when Poland was maybe a little bit of a different place? Or...
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
I'm always proud to be Polish, don't get me wrong, but like I said, the government in my country at the moment is doing whatever they can to put people like me, which is migrants, on a very big sideway, so they actually penalize us for traveling abroad at the moment, so I'm not really happy with that whatsoever. I think the government should look after their citizens, especially the ones abroad, you know, and help them with any possible way. At the moment, we are being put into the debt.
Okay.
And I'm not really happy with that.
I'd say it's quite because sometimes people think that if you're away from your country, it grows your patriotism level because you kind of miss it or whatever. But with you, it's almost the other way around.
Geographically, love my country. I really like the people. I love the food. I love everything about it, right?
Yeah.
In terms of freedom, personal freedom, it's going down every year now because, like I said, we've got a very harsh right-wing government that is taking all the freedoms away from people. They literally turn into a dictator right now, and I'm not happy with that.
So it's the politics mainly that's sort of
pushes me off.
Putting down your patriotic levels.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
that's the only thing.
That's interesting.
Because as a Polish citizen at the moment, I feel massively undervalued by my own country, almost punished.
Okay,
that's what the thing is.
Right.
I'm not happy.
Satria, then, on the other end of the scale, obviously you're not in your country at the minute, and it's been quite a while since you've been back there, maybe about a year or something like that. And so you said you're 10 out of 10 in patriotic levels. So would you say, similar to Daniel, that like if we talk about the politics of the country, would you say that that affects your decision at all in terms of how the political sort of system in Indonesia, does that affect your level of patriotism, or is your love separate from the politics?
Yeah, there's a quite difference, because for me, nothing to do about political, what happened going on in my country and now what people doing. At the end of the day, they are human. It's nothing to do with my feeling to my country. It doesn't matter what they're doing. What I'm saying is, I come from the country that giving me, who I am now, to be honest. Whatever I reach now, I got a culture that I received when I was a kid. The people supportive, you know what I mean? How can I say? It's just inside you. You
Sure.
can't,
It's like your identity.
my identity,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cannot just all the feeling kick off because bloody moron doing shit, the politics or something like that. I don't take that for consideration. For me to love my country is, if I can say 12 or 15, I will give 15. I love my country, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But what people doing, what other Indonesian doing, they are gonna increase blah 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 blah. I feel sorry to my country. It's not for me to get away, to hate or to reduce my patriot.
Yeah.
At least I can do something. That's all me.
Why do you think people are so patriotic? Is it to a certain is it like popular culture and the state, or is it more in the mind? Or
No, it's in the mind, I deeply believe in that. And, I feel connected massively to my country, don't get me wrong. But there is that second part that pushes me away at the moment. And I'm not the only one, sad to say, at the moment. And the situation will grow worse, especially next year. Because a lot of Polish people that are abroad at the moment are contemplating rescinding the Polish citizenship.
Okay.
After the recent events in Poland and the decisions that the government is making about people like us.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that I am forced to even consider such a thing, because it's unheard of, it's unspoken. My family members has died to defend that country.
Yeah.
Sacrificed a lot.
So would you, if you rescinded the Polish, I'm not saying you will, but if you did, what nationality then would you go? Would it be British?
Yeah,
or,
because my life is in Britain, for a long time, but it wouldn't be my first choice, obviously, and I'm very heavy-hearted even contemplating that kind of decision.
I mean, you're Asian, but you're Indonesian. Would you ever say you're Asian? I mean, do you accept that as part of your, not accept it because you are Asian, but I mean, is that part of your patriotism, the Asian? For example, here, some people, if they were born in England, they might say they're English, and they would never say they're British. But some people would say they're British, do you know what I mean? So as the whole thing is a collective. So would you ever say, is Asian part of the, the feeling there, or is it just Indonesian?
Well, I'm not. I mean, if someone call me Asian, it's fine, but I can say I'm Indonesian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Asian, where you are in Asia, you know what I mean? Can be Chinese, can be Japanese or Vietnamese, but I'm Indonesian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to just a little bit comment about Daniel's statement about changing the nationality, I think that is nothing. I don't know if he think that is about nationalism, nationalist.
Yeah.
But for me, changing nationality is just piece of paper. You know what I mean?
So it'll always be,
doesn't mean that you not love your country, because a lot Indonesian people here, they also change their nationality, but they're still patriotic.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All about you owned. When you're talking about Indonesia, I own Indonesia. That's mine. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Is that what I mean? So I'm gonna defend it because.
Why though? Do you think? Why is that?
Because I'm born in there, and then
So it's a
I grew up in
territorial
there. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
When you
Just like the cat.
yeah, same like this house.
Looks after his
You know what I mean?
mean?
Whatever people think about this house is mine. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna protect it. I'm gonna do everything I can. You know what I mean? That's the same like the country as well. It's your home.
It's your home, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like an animalistic, maybe, instinct. From whatever you. It's like a bird always flies home,
Yeah,
flies back to its
flying
nest.
back.
It will go everywhere around the world, but it'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, same like in the house, you can fight with your brother, your sister, your whatever it is, you know what I mean, going on in that house.
Yeah.
But it's still your home. If someone gonna do something to your home, you're gonna protect it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
I guess one of the things I would be saying is, I mean, personally, I'm quite patriotic myself.
So what then, 1 to 10?
It's probably similar. It's more your end of the scale than Daniel's. I'd say it's probably like a 9, maybe. Sometimes a 10, a 9, a 10. Culture and the food, and like you're saying, and your family, and I think family are a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
You know? But what if I was to say that patriotism is something that doesn't really exist? It's a mindful thing. It's a state of mind. It's kind of an ideology, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it is.
Because there is no such thing as Indonesian. There's no such thing as Polish. There's no such thing as Irish. We are all human. All these places are rocks in water.
Yeah.
They're not. They can't. You can't. You can't see Indonesian. You can't see Irish. You know, it's a state of mind. It's a state of ideology. So the reason I would give a 9 is because I'm gonna put this question to you. Do you think sometimes it is a little bit stupid and a little bit backwards that we are so patriotic that we become blind to other cultures, other countries, other races, skin colours, stuff like that? We become too patriotic, we become too blind, and that causes damage either around neighbouring countries or, you know, in the world as a whole.
I think so. It can be that way.
In
Because
Indonesia,